Shalom, shalom. This is Mahmaya Shalom ben Apario. This is Mash and Israel and Ephraim. And before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honors to my power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh by Hashem Rakakadash. Shalom to the Altamagwaf and the Bayan that's tuning into the video. That's peace to the brothers, sisters, and children tuning into the video. Now, I just want to do a quick hitter discussing what it means to be rooted and built up in this faith and what the steps you have to take to do that, right? And we're going to start in the book of Colossians chapter 2, verse 7. It reads, "Rooted and built up in him, established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving." To be rooted and built up in the faith, right? That means you're being built up, you're being taught, right? You start with the milk, you go to the meat, right? You're learning. You are in this Bible, you're reading, right? You're taking counsel when needed to be taking counsel. You're being attentive, right? You're a student again. Or you should always be a student. So, and it's very important to understand that you need to be established in faith, because throughout the Bible, it's different. Countless different times we'll discuss the importance of faith, where the faith of the mustard seed, side of a mustard seed, or without faith it's impossible to please him, or the account of the woman that was sick and she just touched the cloth of Yahushua and she was, healed. But she had faith, and that's what did it for her, right? So having this understanding, right? The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, and it reads, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of Ha-Adawan, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in Ha-Adawan." Right? Now, when he says my brethren is actually talking to both women and men, right? Men and women. Be steadfast and unmovable, right? Don't let these people out here throw you off your faith, throw you off your pivot, you being built up. Now, granted, if you're built up and rooted in this faith, that shouldn't happen, right? Because you have understanding of what's going on and why it's happening. Because any kind of question that you have, it's answered in the Bible, plus 10,000 any other questions you didn't think you have, right? So, being built up and being rooted in this book actually saves you from those issues, and they just force you to be steadfast and unmovable, right? Like a rock, you're firm. Just like it says, the Lord said He will build the rock, the church. You will be the rock. I'll put the church on you. And I believe it was talking to matter of fact, I don't want to misspeak, so I'm gonna put the precept in the comments. Slakia. Now, always abounding in the work. Abounding in the work is keeping the commandments, right? Staying in His word, right? And then for the brothers out here teaching, putting their hands to the plow and teaching. Obviously, also keeping the commandments and staying in that word as well. And knowing, doing this, and being, again, steadfast, unmovable, rooted in this word, you understand that your labor is not in vain for the Lord. You understand what you're working toward and what your true job is of the Lord, right? This is the book of Psalms chapter 1, verse 2, and it reads, "But delight in the law of Ha-Adawan Yahweh. And in the law doth he meditate day and night." You need to be able to meditate in this book. Be in this book, right? That's how you get to be rooted. You have to learn. You have to continue to learn, right? Sometimes you have to do a little more than you feel like you should do, that you thought you had to do, but you have to do more, right? You have to be able to stay in this book and continue to work on yourself, right? Because again, we are everlasting students at this point. We never stop being students now, right? This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. "The book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success." But doing this, again, staying in this book, right? Not having the book, the law, or the thought of meditation, or thought on the word 24/7, departing from your spirit, departing from your mouth. That's going to help you be heavily rooted in this faith, right? You should have been in this book, reading the book, having thoughts about it all the day. You're like, yeah, that's that's how you being rooted in this faith, man. Right? The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 3. "Blessed be he that readeth, And they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. If you're again doubling down on staying in the book, right? You're reading. You understand what's going on, right? You're going to be immovable when you know what's going on. You're not going to get sidetracked when you see some crazy happen, because you know that because you've been reading, right? And that helps you be what? Immovable, steadfast, and rooted in this faith, right? That's very important because the perilous times that we're entering into. So if you understand what's going on, you won't get caught sidetracked, which means, you know, I don't desire. That's not going to knock you off your pivot, which is not going to knock you off this faith because you're rooted, right? Then here, Proverbs chapter 15, verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth the answer. We're here to study, especially this is for especially the men, the brothers that are preaching. We're here to study the answer, so you have to be built up, right? But the mouth of the wicked pour forth evil things. But not even that. Even if you're not out here to preach, even the women, if you read the Bible, you understand what's going on. You're not going to get swayed by false doctrine, and that's again for anybody. Just like the one precept says, we're not like children to being swayed to and fro, right? Because we are rooted in this faith. We're steadfast, we're unmovable, right? And those are the steps that you have to take to do that. And it's very important that you do this. Now, it's an everlasting battle. It's an everlasting war that we are in. So you have to continue to fight and continue to fight. You know, period. It's all what it is. But you know, I don't know how this lesson was edifying and enlightening to you, and able to give you some peace. You know, we gotta give all praises and honors and my power Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakadash. Shalom to the Agim Magwaf and the body that's tuning into this video. That's peace to the brothers, sisters, and children tuning into this video. Shalom.